What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Lockdown Coverage. My name is Daniel. If you guys are new to the channel, huge free agency news, big buzz around the NFL. A lot of players have signed. A lot of players are still waiting to sign big name free agents. Thank God NFL free agency did not get postponed. There would be no sports on the market right now. Zero sports. Big news that I want to start off with. Tom Brady of the New England Patriots, longtime 20-year tenured quarterback, 6-time Super Bowl winner, is not returning to New England. Yay, let's celebrate. Me and my fellow Dolphins fans, we might have a chance to finally win the division for once, especially with the Dolphins signing everyone in free agency, basically 9 to 25 players. No, but I'm kidding. But seriously, Tom Brady on the open market. It's been speculated that the only two options that he currently has to sign with are the LA Chargers or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it is just reported at the timing of this recording that he will not sign with LA. LA currently thinks that they're out and that he will tomorrow evening, I'm assuming, Tom Brady will sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's reported. He is not returning to New England, so that is a big change in the NFL. Obviously, the Patriots have been good for so long. Huge change. Actually, I'm really excited. I'm a Dolphin fan, and I'm excited to see Tom Brady go to Tampa and potentially, not, this isn't for sure yet, work with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. That would be dope. That would be fire. Tampa is currently the favorite. I'm going to start with free agents, start with importance and quarterback position, and then trickle my way through all the signings throughout the first 2 days. So quarterbacks that are off the market and are currently signed with their teams, if you guys haven't heard yet, and these are all the quarterbacks I'm including, starting off with Dak Prescott. He got the franchise tag from the Dallas Cowboys. It boggles my mind that they still have not been able to sign a long-term extension, but that I will discuss in later videos. I don't have time to get into Jerry Jones not wanting to pay Dak Prescott, even though he led you to the playoffs multiple years and is a great quarterback in my opinion. Other than that, other Cowboys news is Amari Cooper did sign an extension, 5 years, $100 million, making him the second highest paid wide receiver in the league, right behind Julio Jones, who makes annually about $22 million a year. Amari Cooper is currently making $20 million a year. That's above Odell Beckham. That's above Michael Thomas. So Amari Cooper got paid. Other news from other teams speculating around quarterbacks is Phillip Rivers, longtime tenured LA Chargers, or San Diego Chargers, whatever you want to call it, quarterback, ended up signing with the Indianapolis Colts, 1 year, $25 million, all guaranteed, I'm assuming. Phillip Rivers is headed to Indianapolis. Indianapolis also made another big move yesterday with trading their first round pick. Their first round pick is the 13th pick in this year's draft currently, and they're trading that pick to the San Francisco 49ers for star defensive tackle DeForest Buckner from San Francisco. He was the stud on that defensive line for San Francisco last year. Him and Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead, they all wreaked havoc, but the 49ers couldn't keep all of them. So smart decision. Instead of just letting him walk potentially next year, I think that's when his contract would expire, they traded him for a first-round pick for Indianapolis, and they're probably going to get good value with that 13th pick. So good job, San Francisco. Good job, Indianapolis. Both got value for DeForest Buckner, and Phillip Rivers is currently on the Colts now. Other quarterback news, Kirk Cousins did get a contract extension, 2 extra years. So he has 1 year remaining on that big 3-year, $96 million deal he got done originally, or $94 million deal with the Vikings. So he's staying there for another 3 years. So it's a 2-year extension. That is Kirk Cousins news. Drew Brees officially re-signed with the New Orleans Saints. 2 years, $50 million. Well, it's not sure yet if he's going to play next year as well, but I guess they just signed him to the extension to say, hey, if you do want to play, you have that contract available for you, an extra $25 million in your pocket. If not, walk away from the game. We don't have to talk about any contract negotiations though for next year if you do decide to play. Smart decision by them. Huge news for Teddy Bridgewater. Congratulations to Teddy Bridgewater. Went 5-0 with the Saints. Led a huge deal with the Carolina Panthers. He teams up with I think he was an offensive coordinator. He was an offensive-minded head coach. I'm not sure what his position was on the Saints, but he worked with Teddy Bridgewater. And now Joe Brady is the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. That is where Teddy is headed. 3 years, $60 million, $20 million annually. Teddy Bridgewater deserves it. Carolina signs Teddy Bridgewater. And then the other big news that also happened is that Cam Newton, longtime Panthers quarterback, original first overall pick, is basically out of Carolina. They said that he could seek a trade, even though he wrote, I don't know if you guys know, but Cam Newton's kind of cryptic and weird on Instagram, but he wrote a message under one of Carolina's posts that I didn't do this. You guys are forcing me to find someone to get traded to. I would have stayed in Carolina. I love Carolina. He was basically saying that he didn't want to leave and that Carolina forced his hand into seeking a trade on the open market. Cam Newton is headed somewhere else, though, for next year. Big news in the quarterback market. I kind of like when all the quarterbacks sign because it leads to a domino effect of someone leaving, someone coming, someone going. So that's big quarterback news. And then trades that went down recently, especially for involving wide receivers around the league, is the Buffalo Bills ended up giving a first-round pick and a few late-round picks, like a fourth, a fifth, and a fourth for next year, I think. So 4 picks total for Stephon Diggs. When Kirk Cousins got re-signed, he kind of left also a weird cryptic message that it's time for new beginnings. He potentially doesn't want to stay. The Vikings said they had no idea about it, but I guess they talked it through, and Stephon said he wanted a new start. So Buffalo gets that much-needed wide receiver. They give up their first-round pick, so it's a late first because they made the playoffs last year. So now Buffalo is loaded across the board. They got their star wide receiver. Big news. Other wide receiver news that literally makes no sense at all. Bill O'Brien, head coach and general manager for the Houston Texans. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea what you're doing. But the Texans traded DeAndre Hopkins to the Arizona Cardinals so they traded DeAndre Hopkins and a 4th-round pick for David Johnson, running back for the Arizona Cardinals, who's getting paid $12 million a year and plays 5 games a year because he's always injured. And Arizona also gave their 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. Probably he's going to finish his career as one of the top 5 to 10 best wide receivers of all time. And you couldn't even get a 1st-round pick for him. But the Bills end up trading their 1st-round pick just to get Stephon Diggs. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Bill O'Brien, I don't know why they made him GM. If you're the Texans, go get yourself a real GM so Bill O'Brien doesn't have a shit ton of stuff on his plate. I don't understand. Like, obviously, he's not a good GM. He traded for Larry Tunzel and he gave up 2 firsts and 2 seconds, and now he has to pay him. And they didn't have any draft assets, so you end up trading one of your best players for a 2nd-round pick. You guys better hit in the draft. And then after that, they traded for Randall Cobb, or they didn't trade, but they ended up signing Randall Cobb to a 3-year, $27 million deal from the Dallas Cowboys, aging slot wide receiver. So now you have him and Will Fuller and Kiki Cutie and Kenny Stills. So you have a good complement of receivers, but they're always injured. They never stay on the field. So I don't know what Bill O'Brien, what you're doing. Like, you pull yourself together. If you don't have a great year this year, you're going to get fired, in my opinion. I think this is the last straw for Texans ownership. They finally realized that something's wrong here. But anyways, those are 2 wide receivers that got traded. Next, all I wanted to talk about was the Dolphins. The Dolphins are literally signing everyone they could. The Dolphins had so many needs and so much cap that it makes sense that they sign Byron Jones from the Cowboys, cornerback. So automatically they have the number 1 duo of corners in the league with Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. I love that, especially for me because I'm a Dolphins fan. And they also got Kyle Van Noy, defensive end linebacker from the Patriots. They got Jordan Howard, running back from Philly, big power back. The Dolphins needed a running back. Ryan Fitzpatrick was their leading rusher. Shaq Lawson from the Bills, another edge defender who will make their defense better. Emmanuel Okpa, another edge defender, another defensive end from the Chiefs. Had 5.5 sacks last year, only played 10 games, showed some upside. And Eric Flowers, former bust, but now he played for the Washington Redskins last year as a guard and played really good, so he earned himself a 3-year, $30 million contract. Dolphins made a huge splash in free agency. Other free agency news that includes the New York Giants now is that they just recently signed former Carolina Panthers DB and cornerback James Bradbury. So a big deal, making him probably one of the top 5 to 10 top highest paid cornerbacks in the league. Not surprising there. They need defense. They were probably one of the worst defenses in front of the Miami Dolphins. So I'll give them 31st in the league. They needed cornerback help to guard wide receivers. They had no one. They also signed Blake Martinez from the Green Bay Packers to a 3-year, $30 million contract. He's a linebacker. He had a lot of tackles last year because their defense wasn't that good, but he would be a good he would be a solid upgrade at linebacker. I don't know if this means that they don't take Isaiah Simmons in the draft at number 4, but we'll see. Other news that involves Carolina Panthers as well and the Washington Redskins is Thomas Davis, really old linebacker, but still really productive. He was on the LA Chargers. He's going back to the Redskins to team up with his old head coach, Ron Rivera. So that makes sense. Raiders news, they end up getting Nick Kwiatkowski, the former linebacker from the Chicago Bears, to a 3-year, $21 million deal, as well as Corey Littleton from the Rams. He had a standout year last year. He's quick, he's agile, he's the type of linebacker you're looking for in this day and age in the NFL. He signed a 3-year, $36 million deal. The Raiders also made a few other moves, which included signing Marcus Mariota. I'm assuming he's going to compete for Derek Carr. I don't think Derek Carr is going to get the reins and be the starting quarterback automatically now with Marcus Mariota there. John Gruden thought that Marcus Mariota was really good coming out of college, so I wouldn't be surprised if he actually starts or replaces Derek Carr if he does not come out hot of the gates to begin the season. That I wouldn't be surprised with. They also signed really old tight end Jason Witten from the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know how he's still productive. He knows how to find sweet spots in zone coverage. He's not fast or elusive or anything, but he does bring the brains and, I guess, power, run blocking ability, to the Oakland Raiders that they need, as well as Darren Waller. I think they look really good. They made good signings in free agency. Now they could go get a wide receiver in the draft. The 49ers, they extended Eric Armstead, a star defensive end, to a 5-year, $85 million, huge deal, huge extension. He played really good last year. Obviously, San Francisco has probably the best front four in the league, and they're all first-round picks, so he's going to produce. He better produce, and he ended up doing really well. Not surprised that he got that money. They also extended Jimmy Ward, a long-tenured safety for now. He was a first-round pick a while back. He didn't play that well, but now that they have such a good pass rush, it shows that he has talent. It gives him time to, I guess, cheat on some plays and get some turnovers or interceptions or forced fumbles. So that makes sense. Good extension for Jimmy Ward. He signed a 3-year, $28 million extension as well. Lions have been pretty quiet. They lost their right tackle. They lost their guard. So now they need offensive linemen. I'm assuming they're going to get in the draft. Maybe with a third pick, they might trade out and get more assets for that. But they signed Jamie Collins, former Patriots linebacker, to a 3-year, $30 million deal. That's pretty much the only Lions news. The Eagles signed Vernon Hargreaves from the Steelers, nose tackle, not even defensive tackle. He's a big man, big boy. 3-year, $39 million deal. I guess he deserves it as well. People think that he has untapped potential. Maybe the Eagles think that they could turn that potential into star power. That's a good signing. Great deal for him. Makes him the highest paid nose tackle in the NFL. The Chargers also signed Ryan Bulaga to a 3-year, $30 million deal, former right tackle for the Green Bay Packers. He's really good. He gets injured kind of towards the end of the year. I don't know if his body could maintain a 16-game regular season anymore. I think he's getting on the older side, like 31, 32. But maybe this is the Chargers trying to say, hey, Brady, we need you. We want you. We're getting offensive help for you. Come to LA. We need you. Please don't go to Tampa. It might be too late, but who knows? We'll see. Some other news is DJ Reader from the Texans signs a 4-year, $53 million big deal, defensive tackle with the Bengals. The Bengals finally woke up randomly in free agency. They got Reader. They got Trey Waynes as well, corner from the Vikings, former corner from the Vikings, to a 3-year, $40 million deal. Makes him the top 5 highest paid corner in the league. What is that, $12 million a year almost? And then other news is that the Bears ended up signing Robert Quinn, former defensive end from the Cowboys. So the Cowboys did lose a lot of pieces during this free agency. I'm not surprised that they did. They had to pay their key players. They still have to pay Dak Prescott, which they better, or else Jerry Jones. I already lost hope in you, but hopefully they get re-signed Dak Prescott. But they lost Robert Quinn to the Chicago Bears for a 5-year, $70 million deal. So a huge deal for Robert Quinn. I didn't think he was that good anymore. He had one really productive year. We had over 20 sacks, I think, on the Rams when they were still St. Louis, I'm pretty sure. And then the Dolphins traded for him for a 6th-round pick, or the Cowboys traded for him from the Dolphins for a 6th-round pick. And now he had a really good year with the Cowboys last year, and he got himself a lot of money in this deal. another big thing is that the Lions did lose out on Teddy Bridgewater because he goes to Carolina. Teddy is officially a Carolina Panther, and that means that Mitchell Trubisky is probably going to start this year for the Chicago Bears. Sorry, Bears fans. I know you guys are still sad that you guys took Mitchell Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. At least as a Dolphin fan, I don't have to deal with that. That would be really, really painful for me. But those are the major free agent news, headlines, players, where they've gone around the league. I personally love free agency. I love how right out of the gates, right as soon as the time at 12 p.m. hits, the players start getting signed. If you guys like this video, please make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to keep doing, potentially I could get another video done tomorrow on free agent news, free agent frenzy. Who else still hasn't signed? Jadeveon Clowney is still free agent, so there's still big players on the market. I'll keep in touch. I'll let you guys know what's up. Thanks for watching.